Hey guys, it's Danny. Today we're gonna discuss about Phalaenopsis orchids, and this is my top 5 Phalaenopsis hybrids worth having. So even if you're not a big fan of Phalaenopsis in general, these are just a great addition to any orchid collection. At number 5, we have the Phalaenopsis Sogo Yukidian. Now this is the definition of a monster Phalaenopsis. It has very big leaves, very tall flower spikes, but also very large flowers. And not only that everything is so huge about it, it can create an abundance of flowers, and usually they are displayed in a cascading manner. Now obtaining a cascade on a Phalaenopsis orchid of the type is not a hard job to do. I have a video about it, so if you'd like to know how to make a cascading effect on a Phalaenopsis orchid, check the info card you see on the screen right now. Now the Sogo Yukidian does not have any fragrance. Also, if you don't have enough space for it, it's gonna be a hassle. But when you see it with those cascading flowers, it's just a joy. And even if the flowers are not very colorful, the pure white flowers make for a great contrast. The better you care for it, the more blooms you will have. So no matter if you don't like big Phalaenopsis, at least the Sogo Yukidian will impress you. At number 4, we have another white orchid, but on the other side of the spectrum. The Phalaenopsis Timothy Christopher produces an abundance of small white flowers. The orchid itself is a standard size. The flower spikes are not very tall, however on my orchid I had 30 flowers. And the display is impressive because of the sheer number of flowers. Again, this orchid doesn't have any fragrance, and you can't necessarily obtain a cascade of blooms. However, you can obtain the look of a tree in blossom, and in my personal opinion, it is so worth making the room for it in your collection. On number 3, we have the Phalaenopsis Chang Balm. Now when you look at it, you might say, well, this is not a very fancy orchid. And indeed, it's not. The flowers are quite tiny, and they're not necessarily produced in large numbers. However, the impressive thing about this orchid is its fragrance. Each flower smells wonderful, and in my opinion, pretty fruity. However, it has a delicious underlayer of sweetness to the fragrance. Almost like a syrup. The better you care for this orchid, the better the fragrance will be as well. The orchid is not tiny, but it's not super big either. As I was saying, the flowers are kinda tiny. However, that fragrance is just to die for. And the best thing about it is the flowers last quite a lot of time, unlike some fragrant Phalaenopsis species. I think this orchid is the definition of appearances are deceiving. If you see it from afar, you wouldn't say it's anything special. But when you will feel the fragrance, I think your world will be turned upside down. We're approaching the first position and the orchids are getting better and better. At number 2, we have the Phalaenopsis Sun Passat. This is a recent acquisition, and I was so pleasantly surprised about this one. Again, it has a complex hybrid shape to it, pretty large leaves, and pretty large flower spikes. The flowers are not tiny, but they're not humongous either. It also has a beautiful color to it, quite a striking yellow which fades to white towards the center. However, there's one more thing to add. The fragrance. Again, this orchid is beautifully fragrant, and it's not mild either. You'd be surprised, but it can actually fill up a room. The fragrance is quite soft, and I find that it resembles sweet apples. However, it has a spice to it, and a certain sweetness that I really cannot describe. It's just a joy when you feel its fragrance, and you don't really need to be too close to the orchid to feel it. This orchid can stay in bloom for months and months because it is a complex hybrid Phalaenopsis. Mine has been in bloom for the past 2 months and it doesn't show signs that it wants to drop its flowers. So this is the best of both worlds, fragrant orchids and complex Phalaenopsis hybrids which come with all their vigor and attractiveness. And here is the number 1 Phalaenopsis orchid I think anybody should own. This is the Phalaenopsis Sweet Memory Leodoro. Now this is not a very complex hybrid, however it's not really a simple hybrid either. It's a mixture of 3 Phalaenopsis species, and the result is unbelievable. Not only are the colors vivid and really striking, but also it has one of the most beautiful fragrances in the whole orchid world. The flowers have a beautiful shape to them, and the color is a beautiful pink magenta that seems to fade towards the edges. The colors are really vivid, but the fragrance is hard to describe. It's sweet, it's fruity, it's absolutely delicious. I cannot really compare it to anything because it is one of those unique fragrances. And best of all, it is not mild one bit. This orchid can overtake any other type of flower you might have in bloom in your home. It might not be for those people who cannot stand strong fragrances, but if you are the type of person which prefers rich, powerful fragrances, this one is for you. If you can accommodate her in your home, you should definitely own it. It's really not hard to grow, takes the same care as any other Phalaenopsis hybrid. So overall, when it comes to Phalaenopsis hybrids, I really doubt I will have any other favorite except the Leodoro. It's hard to believe that there is another hybrid better than this one on the market, at least in my opinion. In any case, if you ever see it for sale, you might want to really think about it before you pass it. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have other great Phalaenopsis hybrids, let me know in a comment below. I'm sure there are many other Phalaenopsis hybrids worth mentioning, but so far, these are my favorites. If you'd like to see more orchid videos from me and stay up to date, simply subscribe to my channel. I post on a daily basis. Also, feel free to leave me questions or suggestions you might have for videos in the comment section below. I always check my comments. If you ever want to send me a letter, do so at the address you see on the screen right now and also in the description below. If you click on the left side of your screen, you're gonna be directed to orchidnature.com, where you'll find care sheets, identification sheets, and also you can talk to us in the forum section. And on the right side of your screen, you can click to watch another orchid video. Thank you for joining, I'll see you next time, bye!